Aliens called it a simple invasion, just one day on Earth, land, capture, leave. Easy win, right? But within hours, one soldier's armor melted off his body. Another screamed, "Something's inside our minds!" And their commander? He collapsed after one human nurse smiled at him. They thought Earth was weak. But that nurse? She wasn't here to save lives. She was here to end them. And now, the last alien transmission simply read, "Day 1 was our last." And then, silence. Welcome to Humanity Prime, HFY Stories. This is where humanity isn't just strong, we're terrifying. I'm Jake, your voice in this madness, the guy chosen to tell the stories aliens pray you'll never hear. So grab your gear and hold your breath, because this story, it starts with a smirk and ends with total alien surrender. Let's begin. They landed with pride in their eyes. 3 dropships, elite strike units. Alien technology that had crushed planets before. This time, the target was Earth. 1 day. That's all they gave it. Tactical officers laughed. This species still uses bullets and bed sheets. Primitive and soft, easy pickings. They touched down near a small military base. Surveillance showed only 12 humans inside, half of them injured. Perfect test run. The base was quiet, almost too quiet. Commander Therex signaled to advance. Phase 1, capture the base, take prisoners, record their screams. But as they moved in, one thing stood out. A woman. A nurse, standing by the window. She was beautiful, unnaturally calm. Her tight uniform hugged her curves like armor. One hand held a syringe, the other, a coffee cup. She didn't flinch. She didn't run. She just smiled. Then she said it. "You boys came to play, but forgot the safe word." The alien next to Therex blinked. "What did she say?" Boom! The wall exploded behind them. An entire hallway collapsed. 3 aliens vaporized instantly. Commander Therex barked, "Who attacked?" Their scanners showed nothing. No human heat signatures. Just static. But the nurse? Still standing, still smiling. A wounded human soldier limped into the hallway, bloodied, laughing. "Hey, Doc, you didn't tell them about the foreplay." "Spoilers ruin the fun," she purred. One alien fired. The blast hit the soldier square in the chest. He didn't fall. He cracked his neck, rolled his shoulders, and threw the alien through a steel wall like a rag doll. Panic hit the invaders. "This isn't possible!" The nurse licked her lips. "You came expecting prey, but baby, you just walked into heat season." Another explosion. The floor trembled. Therex ordered retreat, but the exit had vanished. Walled off, sealed shut. Screams echoed from the FT wing. Alien troops were missing limbs. Others were banging their heads into walls, crying about her eyes. "What's happening to them?" a rookie asked. "They're seeing the truth," the nurse said, stepping forward. "That humans don't lose. We just play with our food." She injected something into the next soldier. He screamed. His skin smoked. His last words were, "Her kiss burns." More soldiers ran. Some tried to shoot each other just to escape. Therex sent a message to orbit. "Abort. Earth is not what we were told." No reply. Static. Then a voice came through, not from the ship, but from inside his own helmet. Her voice. "Aw, don't leave so soon. I haven't even unzipped the fun part." The helmet melted. He screamed. 2 more aliens dropped beside him. One whispered, "She's in our heads." The other, "She's in our dreams." One alien shot himself on the spot. Suddenly they heard a human radio signal crackle through. "Command to Nurse Zero. Report status." Her response was soft, teasing, and terrifying. "Earth is still ours. Aliens are broken. And I haven't even used my tongue yet." The base lights dimmed. Footsteps. Heavy, slow, confident. She walked past the pile of alien bodies, unbothered, untouched. The survivors lay shaking, whimpering, begging, but she just whispered. They tried to crawl away, but their bodies didn't respond. Muscles locked, vision blurred. Even the oxygen in the room felt too heavy. The remaining alien troops, once proud war machines, were now crawling like bugs, dragging themselves across the cold metal floor, while she just watched. Calm, clean, not a single hair out of place. The human nurse walked slowly, heels clicking like countdowns. Her gloves were off now, bare hands, smooth, dangerous. And whatever chemical she just smeared across her palms was glowing blue. The Rex tried to raise his blaster. She leaned in, tilting her head. Aw, still trying? That's kinda cute, in a my first invasion kind of way. She pressed 2 fingers to his forehead. There was a flash, a scream, then silence. His eyes went blank. Gone. Not dead, but wiped. One alien grabbed the comms again, screaming into it. "Code Red! Enemy is Seductive! Biological weapon in female form! Repeat, female!" His voice cut off as a steel tray sliced through his throat. It wasn't thrown. It was floated. Telekinesis? The nurse smiled, twirling her finger in the air. "Boys, you keep staring at the hips, but the real danger's between the ears." Her hips didn't lie either. They swayed with rhythm as she stepped over the body. Behind her, a soldier chuckled. "Zero, you always this rough with first dates?" Only when they don't pull out in time. The remaining aliens scrambled toward the exit. One limped toward a window and smashed the emergency beacon. A blue flare shot into the sky. Backup. It was their only hope now. But high above, the orbiting alien cruiser didn't respond. Instead, the crew aboard was already screaming. Hallucinations. Visions of the nurse appearing in every corner of the ship. "She's here!" "We didn't even open the doors." She whispered in my ear, and my heart stopped beating. One captain, Ayan, put a plasma gun to his own head and muttered, "No lips should be that soft." Back on Earth, a silence settled over the base. Then, heavy bootsteps. Not hers. The hallway lights flickered. Shadows moved. New figures entered. 6 more human soldiers. Elite black armor, blood on their hands. The lead one gave her a nod. "Zero, need help?" "Nah," she said, stretching slowly. "Just got them warmed up for you." She leaned down toward the last conscious alien. "Tell your generals. We don't keep prisoners. We keep pets." Then she kissed his helmet. It short-circuited. Smoke. Collapse. The soldiers laughed. "Guess day 1 was too much for them." One grunted. "You think day 2 will even happen?" The nurse winked. "Only if they're dumb enough to come back." Behind them, an autosurgery unit came to life. It began dissecting one of the alien corpses. No blade. Just focused light and whispers from a human tech officer. "We're gonna learn everything about them," he said. "Every nerve, every weakness, every kink." The nurse smirked. "Kink? Honey, I already found a few. She turned toward the camera, eyes glowing slightly, voice lower than before. But tomorrow, I'm bringing out the toys. Static. Darkness. And in the corner of the screen, 3 words flashed in red. Day 1. Survivors. 0. The sky turned red by morning, but it wasn't from sunrise. It was fire. Ash. Alien blood hanging in the air like perfume. 3 new alien squads dropped outside the ruined base. Their armor was upgraded, taller, heavier. They were built for war. The commander of this wave, Janor, wasn't like the Rex. She was colder, smarter, and female. She examined the smoking ruins through her scope. No human tech could do this, she muttered. A broken steel wall lay twisted into the shape of a handprint. That's when one of her lieutenants noticed something. Scorch marks across the ground, shaped like high heels. Ma'am, do Earth females wear battle boots? She squinted. No, they wear trouble. Inside the ruined base, Nurse Zero leaned over a small operating table, humming. Her uniform was torn in just the right places. Blood on her cheek, not hers. She was holding a scalpel, spinning it like a toy. A human soldier limped in. Ma'am, new ships just landed outside. She didn't look up. Oh, good. Fresh meat. Let's give them the welcome package. The soldier grinned. You mean the usual? With extra lube. He limped back out, laughing. She stood slowly, stretched, and picked up a vial glowing green. Alien adrenaline. Let's see how this feels in my bloodstream. She injected herself. Her pupils dilated. Heart rate rose. Her lips curled into a wicked smile. Meanwhile, Janor's troops moved carefully through the remains of the first team. Burned helmets. Melted weapons. A strange scent. Sweet. Like perfume mixed with blood. Then they found the body of Commander Therex. He was still breathing. Barely. Eyes wide. Hands shaking. Whimpering like a scared child. They leaned in. What happened to you? He didn't blink. Didn't speak. But then, he moved his mouth. Ever so slowly. And whispered. She smiled at me. Suddenly the walls around them lit up. Red glow, sirens. Motion detected, Sector 6. They turned, and there she was, in the doorway, backlit by flames, hair wild, uniform tighter than ever. One finger against her lips. Shh, Daddy's sleeping. Blasters fired instantly. She didn't move. The bullets curved around her, melted. She walked forward, slowly, confidently. Fire again, Janor shouted. More shots. Nothing touched her. She raised her hand, and 3 aliens exploded. Janor screamed, "Fall back!" The hallway sealed behind them. A whisper floated into their heads. No safe word this time. One soldier started crying, another wet himself, a third one started laughing, uncontrollably. He pointed at the nurse. She's in my thoughts, and she's not wearing clothes in there. He fell over, giggling, foaming at the mouth. Janor grabbed a plasma blade. This ends now. She charged, full speed, blade glowing. The nurse licked her lips. Finally, some fun. They clashed. Sparks. Screams. The walls shook. Janor was fast, precise. But Nurse Zero was playing, smiling, dodging, winking between swings. You're better than the last guy, she teased. He only lasted 3 thrusts. She twisted, disarmed the alien, and whispered in her ear, "Ever wondered what humans taste like?" The screen went black. A single heartbeat echoed, then a gasp. And Janor screamed. Night fell again. But Earth wasn't sleeping. Miles away from the ruined base, a new alien camp had been built. Defensive shields, heavy cannons, bioscanners on every wall. The new alien commander, Cal Dor, didn't believe in fear. He only believed in math, in numbers, and in wiping out threats before they smiled at him. "She's just a nurse," he told his officers. "One female can't stop an army." But even he said it, with doubt in his voice. Still, he set the trap, lured her in with a fake distress signal. Human soldier injured, bleeding, screaming. Help. Classic bait. The scanners picked up her footsteps 3 minutes later. Walking. Alone. No weapons. Just hips. And silence. The guards aimed from towers. Thermal scopes locked on. Cal Dor grinned. "Fire on my mark, and don't stop until there's nothing left but teeth." But just as he was about to speak, she looked up, directly into the main tower's camera, tilted her head, and blew him a kiss. "Mark this, baby." The lights across the base died. Blackout. Every weapon jammed, every screen went static. And then, a moan echoed through the speakers, her voice. But it wasn't a scream. It was slow, soft. "I like when they try hard. It makes them taste better." Cal Dor screamed, "Where is she?" One of his guards turned and replied, but his eyes were glowing. Glowing. Blue. "She's inside me," he whispered, smiling. "And she's not leaving." He exploded, literally. Blood sprayed the walls like confetti. The others fired blindly. Walls, doors, each other. Panic turned to chaos. Then, she appeared. In the center of the courtyard, spinning slowly, wearing an alien officer's coat and nothing else underneath. Her skin glowed. Her hair floated in the air like fire. She was more than human now. "Surprised?" she asked, voice dripping. "I took a little something from your DNA. Now I keek. With extra settings." She lifted one hand. 4 guards dropped dead instantly, smiling, eyes wide open. Cal Dor ran for the control bunker. Doors slammed shut behind him. Locked in. Alone. Except he wasn't. She was already inside. Sitting on the console chair, legs crossed, syringe in one hand, candy in the other. "Commander Cal Dor," she said sweetly. "Your charts said Earth was soft." She uncrossed her legs, leaned forward. "Does it feel soft now?" He fired. The bullet curved, hit his own shoulder. She sucked on the candy and smiled. "Bad aim, bad manners, bad boy." He collapsed to his knees, bleeding, crying. What do you want?" he stuttered. She stepped closer, stared down at him. Her smile disappeared for the first time. "I want you to remember who broke you." She kissed his forehead. He screamed. Passed out cold. Then the door opened, and 4 human soldiers entered. "Told you she didn't need us," one said. "She just likes to watch us watch her." They laughed. The nurse walked out past them, tossing the syringe into a fire. Behind her, Cal Dor's body twitched, his last words before blacking out again. Her lips were warm. In orbit, Alien Command received the emergency report. They reviewed the footage, paused, rewound, watched again. And then came the final horror. The transmission had no timestamp. The footage was sent before she even entered the base. She knew. She always knew. And at the bottom of the screen, her handwritten message appeared. Stop coming, unless you want to come harder. If she promised to study your anatomy, would you run or volunteer? Drop your answer in the comments, boys. They changed their strategy. No more brute force. No more heavy landings. This time, the aliens came quietly. Stealth drop. No ships, no signals. Just 5 elite infiltrators, dropped by orbit pods at night. Cloaked, emotionless, immune to fear. Programmed for one thing: find the female, extract the sample, destroy Earth. They landed in silence like shadows cutting through the clouds. Each carried mind blockers, psychic shields, DNA cloaks to avoid detection. Everything was perfect until they heard humming. A soft voice echoing through the trees, too soft to track, too human to ignore. One by one, they moved in. Scanners clean, no signs of life. But their nerves began to twitch. Unit 3 whispered, "Why does this forest smell like perfume?" Unit 1 replied, "Ignore sensory glitches." Unit 5 spoke up, voice shaky. "I think I'm getting aroused." They all stopped. "What?" "There's heat. In my chest. In my pants. She's not even here." But she was. Behind them, leaning against a tree, holding a lollipop. Red, wet, slow swirl of her tongue. No shoes, just bare feet in the dirt. A soft white dress, and a wicked grin. "Welcome to my forest, boys," she purred. "Hope you brought protection." They opened fire instantly. Plasma bolts flew. Trees exploded. When the smoke cleared, nothing. Gone. No body, no blood. Just the lollipop, still spinning in midair. Why is that candy floating?" Unit 4 asked. The candy whipped into his forehead. He dropped, convulsing, eyes rolled back. A moan escaped his lips. What did she do to me?" Then his body vanished. Vanished. The remaining units ran, splitting up. But in every direction, her voice followed, soft, playful, horrifying. "You think your little gadgets can block me?" "Sweetie, I invented mind games." Unit 1 activated a neural disruptor. It fried everything within. 50 meters. He panted. Alone. Safe. Until he turned around, and she was right there. Close. Breath on his lips. "That toy of yours just made me hungrier." She kissed him. His helmet shattered. His eyes went wide, then soft, then dead. The forest grew quiet again. Now only Unit 2 and Unit 5 were left. Running, cursing, panicking. Then Unit 5 heard breathing behind him. Turned, saw nothing, turned again. And she was riding his back like a spider. Arms wrapped around him, whispering in his ear, "You smell like fear and virginity." He screamed. She giggled. Unit 2 ran faster. He found a cave, ducked inside, turned on all dampeners. Silence. Dark. Then a flicker of red light across the wall. He turned and froze. She was already inside, sitting cross-legged, with his heart in her hand. She tossed it at him. Oops. You dropped this. The walls of the cave melted. Her voice echoed from every direction. Nice try, boys. But I play with minds, meat, and everything in between. The final message transmitted from Earth to orbit was only 3 words. We failed again. No other data, no coordinates, just the recording of a moan and her laughter. Alien Command reviewed it over and over. One admiral asked, "What is she?" The science officer whispered, "Not just human. She's Earth's mating call. Weaponized." And then a screen lit up in the war room. A direct feed. She was in their system, winking, wearing nothing but an admiral's hat. I see you watching, boys. I like that. Cut to black. Earth wasn't under attack anymore. Now Earth was coming for them. The humans launched something, but it wasn't a ship. Not a weapon. Not a nuke. It was a capsule. One small black pod floating silently toward the alien mothership. No heat, no signals, no life signs. The alien fleet scanned it 1,000 times. Nothing inside. Just whispers. Low, garbled female humming, stuck on a loop. They debated shooting it. Too late. The pod touched their hull and vanished. Gone. Melted straight through the ship's armor like it was chocolate in her mouth. Alarms exploded. Troops scrambled. And then, silence. Every screen on the ship turned black, except one. It showed her, the nurse. She sat in the command chair of the ship's bridge, legs crossed, heels swinging, and sipping wine, wearing one of their admiral's robes, open at the chest. "Took you boys long enough to invite me up," she said, purring. "I usually charge for house calls." Admiral Vokna stood frozen. His crew aimed weapons. "Kill her!" They fired. Lasers passed through her. A projection? No. Worse. A decoy. The real her, already behind them. She ran her fingers down the spine of the weapons officer. He collapsed, moaning. She blew into the comm mic. "Attention, crew. I've breached your rear defenses." And no, that's not a metaphor. Laughter echoed from deep within the ship. Lights flickered, doors locked, gravity reversed. Aliens began floating helplessly, then spinning, then screaming. One officer tried to stab himself. His last words, "Her scent is in my lungs." She moved room to room like a virus in heels, stealing their codes, rewriting their maps, messing with their minds. "You know," she whispered into the comms, "you could have just asked Earth nicely. But no, you had to invade." She grabbed a commander by the collar, pressed him to the wall. "Now, I invade you." She bit his lip. He fainted. One soldier attempted to throw a grenade. She winked. It reversed mid-air and exploded in his pants. Boom. Silence. Then her voice again. That's what happens when you play with things you don't understand. Alien generals across the system watched the security feed. She was dancing now. Alone. On their bridge. Her dress had turned red. Tighter. Blood on the hem. One of the generals whispered, "She's not human anymore." Another replied, "She's something worse. She's enjoying this." On screen, the nurse sat in the captain's chair and crossed her legs. She leaned in toward the camera. "Day 6, boys, and I still haven't even broken a sweat." She blew a kiss. "Now send in your best, or surrender, and I'll consider being gentle." Maybe. The screen cracked. Cut to black. On the edge of the galaxy, alien fleets went dark. Systems rebooted. They no longer feared humans. They feared her. She had them all. Entire fleets. Hundreds of ships, thousands of warriors on their knees, begging, drooling. The galactic transmission was live now. Every known species in the quadrant could see her. Nurse Zero stood on the bridge of the largest alien dreadnought, one heel on the captain's chest, her fingers twirling a blood-stained syringe like a wand. She looked into the camera, eyes glowing, voice calm, seductive. "Hi, boys. This is what happens when you underestimate Earth. We didn't evolve to survive. We evolved to make you scream." In the background, alien admirals moaned in pain. Some were smiling. Others were begging for more. She giggled. "I broke their minds, then their bodies, and now their rules." The galaxy froze. Leaders gathered in war councils. Plans were made. This couldn't continue. She had to be stopped. And that's when something unexpected happened. A ship entered orbit. Old, rusted, human. It docked with the dreadnought, without permission. Inside was one man. No armor, no weapons, just a leather jacket, a 5 o'clock shadow, and a cigarette between his lips. He walked down the hallway, unfazed by the chaos. Dead aliens on the floor, moaning ones on the walls, laughter echoing through the halls. He didn't flinch. Finally, he entered the bridge. There she was. Nurse Zero, sitting on her throne of wreckage, legs crossed, eyes blazing. She looked at him, and for the first time, she froze. "You?" she whispered. He exhaled smoke. "Miss me?" The alien stared, confused. Who was this? Why was she suddenly nervous? He stepped closer. "You weren't supposed to leave Earth, babe. You promised you'd behave." She smirked, but it was shaky. "I was just having a little fun." "Yeah," he said. "You ended 4 civilizations." "Oops." He raised a small device. Simple, rusty. "Time to come home." She sighed, walked toward him slowly, and kissed him. The screen glitched. All systems crashed. Aliens gasped. When the feed came back online, she was gone. So was he. All that remained was a message burned into the bridge wall. Day 7. Over. But she'll be back. Some say she was captured. Others say it was her lover, her leash, her only weakness. No one knows for sure. But across the stars, every species began rewriting their laws. Rule 1, never land on Earth. Rule 2, never ever flirt with a human nurse. Rule 3, if she smiles, run. If she came back tomorrow, would you fight her or fall in love? Tell me in the comments, gentlemen.